can I just say one quick thing about Mr. Puzzles? If they do bring him back, I just want them to actually stick with the story that they had in mind originally.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say that the Beam Factory was bad and all that, because I did have a lot of good moments with it, and Wattfee was still great in that Puzzle Park, the song. Hype, that was amazing. But I also have to say, Puzzle Vision, like the saga, was fantastic, but the ending of the movie fell so flat, and afterwards it's like they wanted to switch the direction for how popular he was. And I like it when you stick with a direction. I want them to do that.
Yeah.
Well, the plot has been like very, very messy, and it's sort of like, I think it was ultimately because it's changed from Kevin writing the show in 2023 to like Aaron and I think it's X and Mehdi who have been writing it in 2024. I think it's because that change of writers has completely fumbled everything.
The problem with the whole Puzzle Vision thing that's been going on the entire year, like this 2024, because it's not 2024 anymore. I don't know why I said basically 2024 was the year of Mr. Puzzles. Like all the story arcs were about him, and the problem is they had a very clear vision for the Puzzle Vision saga, which is 2023 plus the Puzzle Vision arc, which ended with the movie. Like a very clear vision of him. Obviously, in the Puzzle Vision movie, they did a weird direction where like he's like this pathetic loser at the end. And I don't know. It's like he doesn't live up to the sort of hype and how ominous he's presented in 2023. And so after that, I get the impression that he was not supposed to return because they had no clear direction for him in 2024 after that. Because they randomly bring him back like 4 episodes later, and like it's quite a weird way, quite a rushed way. It's clear that he was very more popular than they expected him to be, and so they had to rush to bring him back. And it's clear they had no direction for him, and that was not the plan to bring him back, because the Meme Factory arc is just so like different ideas cobbled together. It's like there's no way they went into 2024 like with the Meme Factory arc and the Wattfee arc planned out already. Like those were made up as they went.
Oh yeah,
so
100%. Those were like 100%
definitely.
I will say, like it feels like they actually had a direction like 3 episodes before it was over. But then like if you like watch the beginning, like where like when Leggy was first introduced, like as like Meggy was gonna stay as Leggy, you could really tell that they were just winging it at that point. And then after like some popularity towards the character of the Despicable Me parody that they did, which that was a really good episode, but I still am just like, it just feels a little forced for some parts, because it feels like they're just trying to get Mr. Puzzles to have something more for his character so they can keep on using him.
Yes.
And I'm not for that, when it was very clear that they had a different direction for the character that was a lot more dark.
Right,
so I'm sorry, that's what SMG4 needs right now, is a new, like, Mr. Puzzles was supposed to be the big bad. Like, he's the whole reason why they can't use Peach's Castle anymore. Peach is technically dead. It's like, it's so much has changed in the SMG4 franchise because of that, because of Mr. Puzzles. And I just feel like that the direction that they had was a lot more thought out, and then they ended up switching it due to popularity and money. And like, I get it if like you want to sell, but also you need to remember sometimes a good story goes a long way.
Yeah. Right. So the thing with Mr. Puzzles, right? So in Puzzle Vision movie, they made the mistake of basically they immediately undermine the threat of him, like pretty early on in the movie when Mario defeats him, like in his first encounter. And so, and after that, he when his like proper character is revealed, it's not the same as like how he acted at the end of Wattfee 2023. He's way more goofy, way more, he's not as cunning. He's, like, and so with the direction they set themselves up mistakenly with in the Puzzle Vision movie, the Meme Factory arc is probably the logical, like how they like him as a character, not the plot of that, but like how they treated him as a character was probably the logical way to use him going forward, where he's like this cartoon villain, basically. I think that was the right direction to take them with, considering what they ended up doing with him in PUZZLEVISION. Obviously, that direction was mistaken, but I kind of like what they did with him anyway. Even though that isn't the direction they should have taken with him. I still think it's entertaining.
Weirdly, yeah.
But the thing is,
weirdly evened itself out.
So in 2025, what I think they should do is obviously, one, they need to keep this same sort of character direction, consistent. They can't go back to him being this really menacing threat, because one, that wouldn't work, because the mystique of his character is all gone now. He's not threatening. He's been defeated 3 times. Yes. So first and foremost, he cannot be the main antagonist of whatever story arc will be in 2025. I assume we all agree, right? He shouldn't be the main antagonist.
Yep, I agree with that.
I 100% am on board with that.
I think it's time for the piece of cardboard to get that shown. We'll talk about him later.
You've got to see this, right? We had the whole entire Watfy stuff, right? And we had the animated trailer. You know when the animated trailer released before the whole entire thing was out, right? The animated trailer looked amazing. Like, oh yeah, this dude he might actually redeem himself here. He might stop messing around. Puzzles might actually do something for once. But the way they did it, it was like the same with the PUZZLEVISION movie. The ending was terrible, and he's just like, the way they rushed everything and then made him look, just, I don't know how to describe it, like a coward basically. In the end, he's just like, he has the power and everything in that moment, with all the. Okay, I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can bring up an image or something, but where he starts losing it at the machine, and I don't know where it is, but yeah, some part in the Watfy movie. It's just.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, no, it's the part where he says like, "You're ruining everything. Everything turns red in that." Right, yeah, and all the subtitles go all shaky and staticky. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I know what you're about.
They were hyping it up and everything, and then all of a sudden it's just back down to,
The weird thing about that scene is that I thought it was going to explain, they were going to somehow explain what the demonic group was, because they used some of the same assets for it.
Exactly.
And not only that,
Princess Peach's Chasm is the most
I want
to know about that.
So basically, in the scene where the carnival comes alive, you can see the group with eyes, the same asset being used, and then obviously the castle, this fake castle appears. But then also in the wrap, there's a transition used, which is where it's going through a pit, and that pit is the
It's
pit.
like the same mouth thing. Yeah. It's the same kind of mouth thing, yeah.
But it's just this asset reuse. It's not anything else. There are also other problem with the Watfy arc is they don't explain his backstory any deeper than what they did in the Clubhouse episode, which is a big missed opportunity. I thought that was what they were going to do to make up for the PUZZLEVISION arc, but no, it's just very surface level.
Yeah, Mr. Puzzles is like the recurring villain that just keeps coming back and just keeps coming back.
Yeah, the thing is
he is that kind of guy.
I think. You see, the problem is, he could be a classic SMG3 replacement, and that's what he should become in 2025.
Yes.
But the way they handled it in 2024 it was really confusing. There's no direction. There was no direction after PUZZLEVISION.
Nah, they just sort of went random bullshit go.
Yes.
That's basically what they did.
Can I just add a little thing about the PUZZLEVISION movie?
Yeah.
The episode before made it so, even the website made it seem like Mario was going to have an awesome big role, and we haven't seen that in a long time. It's never been, focused mainly on Mario like that. And it seemed like Mario, I wish the movie was different, because the way everything was set up, it seemed like Mario was going to be, the hero. He was going to have to go through the channels and fix everything. He was going to have to discover all this because he's been the one messing Mr. Puzzle's plan. And he barely played a role in the movie. If you took Mario out of the movie, it still, everything that happened still would have happened for the most part.
Yep.
And that's what I really hated, because on the website, Mario was breaking out of the TV. They could have done a real life thing, or they could have done something that just was better than what we got. and I don't know. I feel like it was just a lot of wasted potential because it was gonna be like, I think a good character moment for Mario, but it kind of ruined it.
Yeah, all the build-up suggested he would have a much bigger role than it. I mean, he at the end for the final fight, he's completely he's forgotten
Mario
about.
Wasn't even in the final.
Yeah, he wasn't even in it. And
he was not even in it.
You see, the thing is that movie was. I mean, obviously this live stream isn't about it, so we shouldn't talk about it too much. But like that movie was such a disappointment. Like
I know.
What was I going to say? My idea for what it might have been like was way more interesting. Basically, what I thought might happen in the movie was that, you know, Mario would somehow gain sort of control over the world the same way Mr. Puzzle does. You know, because you can see him messing with the TV in the live stream. And so what I thought was gonna happen is that he was gonna be battling Mr. Puzzles across all the different channels, and all the characters would be in the different shows that were in the build-up episodes, as well as the previous movies. And so I was thinking, oh, maybe like we'll revisit Western Spaghetti and Maggie's trapped in there, and Mario has to save her, and like I don't know, something more interesting.
Yeah, it could have been like an actual good moment. And they also could have referenced the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is because the live stream, obviously, and the thumbnail referenced the movies from the previous year. So I thought maybe, you know, those would play the events of those would play a bigger role in the film than they did. What was I going to say? Actually, I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, someone else talk.
Okay. So my idea of the PuzzleVision arc is that I've had the idea where Mr. Puzzles gets his 5 stars like way earlier, is like even before the movie happens, so that like achievement that he's been striving for has a bigger effect because it goes on for longer, and like throughout the movie, like part of the SMG4 gang is like the main group is in the PuzzleVision shows, while the other part of the gang is like trying to get everyone out, and meanwhile trying to like escape from like the entire city, which is being controlled by Mr. Puzzles, as we saw by the climax of the PuzzleVision movie. And it's sort of like, of course, Mario would have a bigger role in like on both sides. And for like, I'm just gonna just like, there's a lot. I'm the guy who yaps a lot, so I'm just gonna go straight to like how it ended. It ends. It's like it starts by them like going to the showgrounds and having to like fight like different like digital copies of themselves, going back to like the ending of Western Spaghetti, where a bunch of all the digital characters came into the real world and all corrupted and sort of like that, like a nice little reference to that. And sort of like, and then they'd barge into the castle, fight Mr. Puzzles for real, but then Mr. Puzzles would snap in a way and sort of like kick everyone out of the castle, leaving Mario left. And what Mario would do would that he would just quite literally punch the stars that Mr. Puzzle has on him, just punch him and shatter them all and that's how he'd get defeated or something like that. To have just more of a epic like sort of feel to it because of all the build up from 2023.
More epic than just, oh no, he's giant now and we have to fight him.
Oh yeah, no, he comes like the giant version is like it's like a hologramic version.
If they were going to do a giant version of him, they should have gone Eldritch, like Photoshop Flabby sort of direction. They should have just made him big, and now they fight him and he's big. Well, that feels like a way more fitting fight for SMG0 than Mr. Puzzles.
Yeah.
Like that, if that sort of like was in Revelations, that would make way more sense.
I think, and if they were to do an Eldritch Mr. Puzzles, I think they should have done that with the demonic goop. Because if anything's going to turn stuff Eldritch, it's going to be that goddamn goop. We've seen what it has done to SMG3.
At the very least, they could have explained what the hell it was. Like, that's never, it's not clear what that was.
Yeah, maybe that happened in 2005.
Answers for that so bad.
How did he get that power?
Yeah, there's a couple of theories which explain what that.
What, Megario?
Oh, yeah, so there's a couple of theories which explain what that demonic goop is. It could either be what Jack said in the 7th Day of Christmas about Mr. Puzzles having a deal with the devil, or it just being like something to protect light from entering the Peach's Castle chasm, as said from the SMG4 video.
Well, I mean, the real reason is basically there is no explanation. They just wrote that for the movie and then they completely forgot about it, and so they never ended up explaining what it is because they didn't really plan Right, so this is the problem with the Wait, I'm going to explain just 4 more reasons why the PuzzleVision movie sucks, and then we're going to move on because we've been sort of sidetracked with this. But basically, when they were writing the movies in 2023, they obviously had not planned out the PuzzleVision arc, right? And so when they wrote that, they didn't actually write it in a way that would, explain the movies from last year in a satisfying way. The other problem with the PuzzleVision movie is that, the 5 stars and the creative control of the whole world thing is never explained. The lore in that movie is lacking.
It's never teased. Aside from that one instance in It's Gotta Be Perfect when the malware says, "Do you want to rate the magical keyboard?" before it's slapped out of existence. It's like, that's the only tease of the rating system. That's the only tease of it. Anything else?
Well, the problem is that with the problem that PuzzleVision movie creates in retrospect with the 2023 movies is it doesn't explain. Mr. Puzzles has no power in the real world. His powers are in his TV head, and so it's got to be the keyboard and the simulation are never explained, because how does he have that power in the real world? Because those were in the real world, and so it creates a bunch of problems with previous events that it's just so frustrating. Because it wouldn't have taken much, I don't think, to explain how he manifested the mysterious keyboard or the simulation. It's just so many missed opportunities. That film is just missed opportunities and disappointment. The movie.
Well, when you think about it, going back to the Genesis arc and all that stuff, when they were bringing all this Super Meme Guardian stuff, the USB pods, and going into the real world, right? Showing the real world and the USB pods plugged into a laptop. Maybe it's just because, it is a digital kind of world, right? Obviously, this is stretching it. This is scraping the barrel here. But, it could be that it has built-in viruses within the digital world that you can create, for example, the memes. Once the memes go dry, then they start getting corrupted and stuff. Maybe Puzzles created something from whatever it was. It could be anything. Could have been the Eldritch Group itself, but I don't know how that would have been created. But yeah, you could have did that, and then it just has that kind of thing where once someone interacts with it, as you would do with a normal virus, it will take over your body and stuff, just like a normal digital computer kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like the demonic keyboard has its own origin. What I've thought of, I've had a headcanon for this as well. The demonic goop has had its own origin where it was created in a certain way. It might be I've thought of another universal item that got sent to the SMG4 universe, and Mr. Puzzles found it and felt its power and sort of just saw that SMG4 was going off his rocker and thought, now this is sort of and got the idea to set off It's Gotta Be Perfect. And for the idea or stuff like that, I felt that the demonic goop is its own thing. It's got its own plan. It's it wanted someone to find it and corrupt someone with it so that it would spread the demonic goop and start doing its own thing down the giant pit that is once Peach's Castle. But that's an entire can of worms for my own OC I've come up with, and I'm not going to go into that because I'd be here all day.
See, this highlights the problem. We have to speculate on this stuff because there's no clues, and so we just have to come up with our own basically fan canon reasons, which are way more interesting than anything they could have come up with. Let's be real.
After show, basically after show.
Oh yeah.
Hold up.
About the an arc that has all the characters, I feel like the PuzzleVision movie has tried to do that in a way where it includes all of the characters and how they solve the mission.
Oh my god, can I talk about the problem with that movie again? You know how they all get sucked into the TV, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm so confused. So obviously it was only the main cast who were sucked in, right?
Yep.
But yet he can manifest Swag and Shroomy and Karen, but they're not in the TV, but they act exactly how they would act. And so, what does he need to suck them in for exactly?
Exactly.
Why can't he?
What's the
It's
point?
so poorly thought out. Just
I know that was just like what
Also,
was
can
on
I
there?
ask when did Boobkins get there? Because he wasn't in the
yeah,
episode.
and
where,
Luigi,
like,
and how
yeah,
and
Boobkins was there in like that little blue area, wasn't he?
yeah, he was in the movie, and he was in a few episodes like of PuzzleVision, but in like the like the TV episode where they all got sucked in, Boobkins is nowhere to be seen.
and
Luigi
Luigi
also wasn't there because he got sucked up by
yeah,
Satan.
and the thing is. In the and then again, and even worse, in the movie, they somehow know which characters were sucked in. Like they know, oh yeah, Luigi was with us, even though they didn't bring him for. You know the Creative Control song. Luigi wasn't present for that for some reason. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And so they somehow knew he was there. How did you know that? Why wasn't he there for the song? I think I know. I think I have a suspicion as to why Luigi wasn't there. Just because if you notice, there's no Nintendo. There's no Nintendo assets in that scene, and so I'm gonna guess for whatever reason they decided not to feature. But also, why? If he's in the story, include him. It's so bizarre. Yeah, unlike the PuzzleVision saga, and to a much lesser extent the Cosmology saga, like this time, for whatever they do this year, they need to actually map out what is going to happen this year, and you know if it goes into next year, they need to plot it all out. Right, need to have a clear plan so we don't get into this mess we did in 2024.
And stick with it.
See, the thing is, I don't think they had. I don't think it's not like in 2024, like they had a plan and they like broke away from it. It's just the problem with 2024 is that they realised Mr. Puzzles was so popular they had to bring them back, and so you know the Meme Factory arc and the Warfy arc were just like made up as they went. Is the problem? They need to have a plan and stick to it, like at the beginning of the year. Also,
but yeah, I feel like this. Wait, I'm going.
You go.
I feel like this. Yeah, so I feel like this is one of like the biggest problems. One of the biggest problems with SMG4. Them not planning ahead. It has happened with the Genesis arc, the Revelations arc, where like they have not played anything ahead, and then there's just all these plot holes.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's happening with 2024, 2025, and